Today's lesson, we are doing a men's full back wax. So let me show you first how you're going to prep. So I like to grab some paper towels and just tuck it into the top of their jeans here, just to make sure we're not getting any wax on their clothing. And then we are going to start with a pre-wax cleanser. So I like to douse 2 cotton rounds. It's going to be a little cold, I apologize. I'm going to start from the top and work my way down, making sure to cover everywhere that we will be laying wax. And also make sure you're instructing your clients to come in product free. And then we will go ahead and follow that up with pre-wax oil. Especially focusing on the areas that does have a little bit more density of hair. We want to make sure we hydrate and create that barrier for the skin. Then you're going to grab your dry clean paper towel and we're going to really rub off any of that excess oil. And this is slightly exfoliating at the same time. The strips that are going to be used for a full back wax are going to be both small basic and large basic. So I use tiger stripes when I'm doing a full back wax, and how I start is first by creating some base strips so that we can lay the lip of our tiger stripes into a clean area free of any hair. So that's how we're going to start first. So to do that, we are going to be using a large basic strip. So you want to get a decent amount of wax on your stick. I'm going to start with the top strip here. I'm going to go ahead and deposit. It's going to feel a little warm. Pressure, pressure, pressure. We're going to go about halfway. Lift. We are not creating an expanding strip on this. We're just going to build this up and thicken up this strip. Go ahead and create your lip. Then we want to make sure that everything's nice and even so that removal is easy for us. All right, at this point, we cannot be doing multiple strips at a time because we just need to create this base first. So we're going to allow that to set before removing. So it's ready to remove fairly quickly. Going to get a little grip here. Then we're going to remove all the way through quickly and follow with your hand. All right, same thing, but now we're going to do this bottom portion. So I like to start at the bottom and bring my strip up, laying the lip of my strip on this clean area that we've now created. So again, we're using large basic. You're going to deposit at the small of the back here. Bring your strip upwards, making sure you're overlapping with where that previous strip was. Then we're going to build it up and create your lip. Making sure everything is nice and even. Sometimes pressing into the strip like this can help it just to set up a little bit quicker, but you don't want to do that too soon when it's super wet and tacky or your glove will get stuck. Okay, I'm going to get a little grip. I'm using my left hand to hold the skin taut. We're removing all the way through. Immediate pressure, especially on the small of the back here where there tends to be a little bit more density of hair. That's where it can be a little spicy for your client, so you want to make sure you provide that relief by applying immediate pressure. Okay, now I like to work my way from the top down doing tiger stripes. So I'm going to do a stripe in here and then make sure to do an offset strip coming in this way. And for beginners, we're just going to be doing 2 at a time. So now we're switching from large basic method to small basic. So we want to make sure we're not getting into the shoulder area and we're just focusing on the back. So you can even use your left hand as a little bit of a barrier there for you. So we're going to deposit. I am widening this strip just by 2 passes, and then I'm coming back and building this strip up. And go ahead and create your lip right onto that clean area that we've just created with those base strips. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but now we are offsetting these so the lip of our strip does not run into each other. I'm expanding this strip and then coming and building it up. Super important that we're always staying on our edge. We're not buttering by laying our stick flat. So you're really pushing and moving all of this wax, and you're making sure to push that wax past the hair down to the skin, making sure you're getting a really nice grip so that we are removing from the root. Left hand, I'm going to hold taut, get a little lift here on the lip, and remove. Immediate pressure. Now, if you don't create a nice lip, you can use your previous strip there, push it in. You'll flip it upside down. So the part that was not touching skin is now on that strip. Get a little lift there and remove. Immediate pressure. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing but opposite. I'm gonna go ahead, deposit. Now I'm pulling towards me. We're going to expand this just a bit, making sure we're not getting onto the shoulder. And then we are going to build that up and thicken that strip. The thickening of the strip is for removal purposes. The first pass needs to be nice and thin, so we're really getting a good grip on those hairs. And then we're thickening up the strip to make sure we don't have a hard time with removal. Deposit. Pressure, 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 keeping on that edge and building it up. Create your lip. This one's ready. I'm going to get a little lift here, remove all the way through, and immediate pressure. Lift all the way through, immediate pressure. All right, now we're going to continue working our way down the back. Again, just doing 2 strips at a time, and we are continuing to use small basic. Deposit, pressure, 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 pressure. Expand the strip, and come back and thicken it up. You want to make sure that you're starting your strip a little bit before where the hairline starts, and you're ending your strip past the hairline onto that base strip that we've created for ourselves. All right, same thing, but we're going to do an offset strip down a little bit further. Small basic, making sure we're starting before the hairline there, bringing it up towards us, expanding the strip, and thickening it up. Always staying on your edge. And create your lip. Get a little grip here. Now, if you find that your strips are breaking on you or you're having a hard time moving quickly enough, it's okay to do 1 strip at a time as well. Deep breath and remove. Now, if you have any hair that's left behind like that or wax, it's because you can see that my strip was not even. So I want to make sure I'm paying attention to this as I continue, that I'm making the thickness of my strip even throughout. But if this happens, and it does happen, I will show you how to get that wax up. Get a little grip here and remove. And you'll notice I'm pulling in a downwards motion, so you're hearing me hit the treatment table, and this is to ensure that I am staying nice and parallel with the skin all the way through my pull, so I'm not creating any tension on the skin or creating bruising or any lifting. Okay, so to remove this wax here, all you're going to do is grab a little bit more wax, and we're just going to simply lay a strip right over the top of that. While that's setting, I'm going to go ahead and lay this strip here. And deposit. Pressure, pressure. Readjusting as I'm going around the curve, making sure I'm always on that edge. We're never laying our stick flat. Making sure I'm being conscientious about making my strip nice and even. And now this will be ready to remove, and you'll see how easily that wax strip comes up. You can use your strip, the part that was not touching skin. I like to stretch it apart a little bit like this so it's nice and tacky, and you can use that to clean up any little residue that has been left behind. And get a lift here. Remove all the way through, immediate pressure. All right, we're going to continue down the rest of the back here and continuing to use small basic. Deposit my wax, pressure, pressure, expand, and thicken. Now, if you're feeling comfortable, you also can choose to be laying up to 3 or 4 strips at a time as well, if you're able to move quickly enough so that your strips aren't having too much time to set and they want to break on you. So no, anywhere from 1 up to 4 strips at a time is totally fine based on your client and your technique and your comfortability. All right, I'm going to lay one over here. I'm also making sure to stir my pot throughout the service as well, so that all this wax is nice and even temperature and spreads nicely. Create your lip. Get a grip here and pressure. I'm going to use this strip to help me remove this. Get a grip. All right, so now with me being right-handed, once we get to the bottom part of the back, I can kind of be in my own way. So you have a couple different options. If you're able to reposition yourself, which can be easy for the side that's closest to you, I'm going to reposition my hand and be laying my strip like this. When I get to this side, I have found that it's easiest for me to come to the other side of the treatment table and be pushing the strip away from me. So let me show you what that looks like. Pressure, pressure. And create our lip. Make sure everything is nice and even. Try to move quickly. This can tend to be a ticklish part of the body for some people as well. So we want to move quickly. All right, then this side, I'm going to come around to the other side of the treatment table so that I have correct hand positioning and their pants are not in the way and I'm able to stay nice and flat on my edge and be applying correct pressure. Another option for you as well, if you do not want to have to move to the other side of the treatment table, is to opt for using pointer tool method. So all you would do is you hold your stick straight up like this, and you'll be applying, making a little bit of a smaller strip, but you're able to stay on this side of the treatment table while still using correct technique for application. All right, get a little grip here, hold taut, remove, and immediate pressure. Little pieces like this you can just remove on their own, or if we need to go back and lay a little mini strip over that, we can do that as well. Get a grip and immediate pressure. You can also use your previous strip to clean up any of these little pieces as well. Okay, so at this point, all we're gonna do is look over the whole area and see if there's any hairs that we need to do cleanups. I see a little bit patch right here. And that is about it. So all we're gonna do is a backwards tiger stripe. So let me show you what that looks like. We will be making this strip a little bit thinner, and we're gonna be removing it a little bit quicker as well. With my cleanup strips, I really like to remove when the wax is still pretty tacky. If you have any one-off little stragglers like this, you can also use your stick and just touch them up. You'll apply and remove immediately. It's almost using your wax as tweezers. I'm going to clean up any residue. And then for the removal of your cleanup strip, you're going to pull a little bit slower. And that is it. That is our back wax. To end the service, you have a couple different options. So we have No Trauma Mama by Relax and Wax. If your client looks super irritated, then this can be a good one because it's very calming and soothing. His skin looks very normal for after a back wax. So I'm gonna go ahead and use fur oil, just their fur oil, not the ingrown concentrate because he doesn't have any ingrowns going on. Another option is using Just Calm Down by Relax and Wax, which is a topical antihistamine. It is really common for men, especially first timers, to have a histamine reaction after a back wax. So this is a great preventative measure. Also, if you do have clients that are having that issue, you can recommend an internal antihistamine, something like Benadryl or Claritin, to be taken before 30 to 45 minutes before their wax. So you're just going to do a couple pumps here. We are covering a little bit larger of an area, so I did about 5 pumps. Going to evenly distribute that throughout my hands, and then we're going to really place this in the areas where there was a good amount of hair. And then right over the top of that, you can put a little fur oil. This is going to be calming and very moisturizing for the skin as well. A little bit of this goes a long ways. And that is it. We have a full back wax.